की आफाक में गुम है, काफिर की ये पहचान की आफाक में गुम है, मोमिन की ये पहचान की गुम है उसमें आफाक।
Keep in mind, it is the one and only, almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where a man's intelligence comes to an end, there starts the beginning of Allah's power and qudrat. The point is often debated among the Muslim intelligentsia and others. Is Quran compatible with science or not? The question is redundant, for Quran precedes science at best. Science has only substantiated in modern times what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created millions of years ago. But we believe in Quran not because it is compatible with science, but because it is the last book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whom He had promised He will protect. And because Quran is vindicated by the actions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the last and greatest of all prophets. Nevertheless, we live in the age of science and technology. So now, let us see how much Quran has been substantiated from science.
The science says that an unimaginable force that caused the intense burst of energy from a tiny point in a fraction of a second, distributing all the matters and energy in all directions. This force is in fact one and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The science does not discuss this force. The science does not discuss the creator of the earths and heavens. It simply pronounces its arrival by the Big Bang theory.
This universe came into being. The most famous among them is the Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory is a scientific model that explains how the universe began as a single point, that is primary atom, that was extremely hot and dense. It was smaller than a grain of sand. Universe then expanded and cooled, allowing atoms and molecules to form. The Big Bang took place 13.8 billion years ago. The theory was propounded by George Lemaitre. This universe is made up of 25% helium and 75% hydrogen. In fact, it did not explode, it simply expanded.
Of the day of the judgment, when this world will come to an end, is one of the main concerns of Quran. It has mentioned it 1400 years ago in verse number 104 of Surah Anbiya. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يوم نطوي السماء كطي السجل للكتب كما بدأنا أول خلق نعيد وعدا علينا إن كنا فاعلين. Just as we produce the first creation, so shall we produce a new one. A promise we have undertaken truly shall be fulfilled. इस दिन हम आसमान को लपेटेंगे, जिस तरह सिजल फरिश्ता नामे अमाल को लपेटता है, हम उसे दोबारा उसी तरह लौटा देंगे जिस तरह हमने उसे पहले बनाया था। यह हमारे ऊपर एक वादा है, बेशक हम ये जरूर करने वाले हैं।
To talk about embryology, the science discusses how a man has come to this world. It tells us that for 9 months, a man's development takes place inside the mother's womb. There are 4 stages of a man's development inside the mother's womb. These are implantation, fertilization, embryonic stage, and the fetal stage.
Descriptions of a man birth in Surah Muminun, verse number 12. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مزغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين.
From extract of king, then we placed him as a drop of sperm in our safe depository, that is the mother's womb. Then we made the sperm into a clot. Then we fashioned the clot into a shapeless lump
that is to say, the features. Then we made bones out of the shapeless lump. Then we clothed the bones with flesh. Then we made out of it another creature. So blessed be the Allah, the best of creators.
फिर हमने उसमें एक नए इंसान की रूह डाल दी। बेशक अल्लाह बड़ा ही बरकत वाला है, वो सब पैदा करने वालों से अफजल पैदा करने वाला है।
Says, the sun heats water in ocean, river lakes and turning it into atmosphere or steam that rises into atmosphere. The water vapor then cools and condenses into cloud in the atmosphere. Then water falls back subsequently to the earth as rain or snow. Finally, water is collected into streams, rivers, lakes and eventually flows back into oceans.
Now in this water cycle 1400 years ago in Surah Nur in verse number 43. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سحابا ثم يؤلف بينه ثم يجعل ركاما فترى الودق يخرج من خلاله وينزل من السماء من جبال فيها من بعد فيصيب به من يشاء ويصرفه عمن يشاء يقال سنا برقه يذهب بالأبصار.
Translation of these verses. Do you not see that Allah makes the cloud move gently, then joins them together, then makes them into a heap? Then will you see rain issues forth from their midst. And he sent down from the sky mountain masses of clouds wherein is hidden. He strikes there with whom he pleases, and he turns it always from whom he pleases. The vivid flash of lightning almost blinds the sight.
Verse is, क्या तुम देखते नहीं हो कि अल्लाह बादल को धीरे धीरे चलाता है, फिर उसके टुकड़ों को आपस में जोड़ता है, फिर उसे समेट कर एक घना बादल बना देता है। फिर तुम देखते हो कि उसके खोल से बारिश की बूंदें टपकती हुई चली आती हैं और वो आसमान से उन पहाड़ों की बदौलत जो उसमें ऊंचे उठे हुए हैं उनसे ओले बरसाता है और जिसे चाहता है उसे नुकसान पहुंचाता है और जिसे चाहता है उसे उनसे बचा लेता है और उसकी बिजली की चमक हमारी निगाहों को मुतासिर कर देती है।
The two currents which flow side by side but which do not intermingle with each other. The Pacific Ocean is the largest one on the earth, spreads over an area 180 million of squares of kilometers. It is known for its calm character and warm water. On the other hand, the Arctic Ocean is the smallest and least explored in the world. It is famous for its icy water and extreme climatic conditions. These properties keep them from mixing together, creating an unusual sight. The two different colors exist side by side but do not intermingle with each other.
The separation of seas 1400 years ago. In Surah Rahman, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
The verse is, He has not freed the two seas meeting together by His command. Between them there is a barrier which they do not transgress. Then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny?
The verse is, दोनों समंदरों को उसने छोड़ दिया ताकि आपस में मिल जाए, लेकिन फिर भी उनके दरमियान एक पर्दा है जिसको ये पार नहीं करते, इसलिए तुम अपने रब के कौन-कौन से मोजज़ात को झुठलाओगे।
God has declared as true 1400 years ago. The laws of the universe have existed since the earth came into being 13.8 billion years ago. The only thing is that which were not understood by the people previously. The purpose of Quran is not to discuss the laws of the universe as framed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The purpose of Quran is to give hidayah, that is guidance, to the humanity at large. Quran is the book of successful in this world and hereafter. The scientists in Western countries are now doing research on many verses of Quran to understand the natural phenomena. They have come to the conclusion that the Holy Quran is fully compatible with modern science. In Quran, there are as many as 752 verses which speak of the discoveries and inventions which the science has only recently made. Some of them have even embraced Islam. Notable among them are Neil Armstrong, the first astronaut to set his feet on moon, Michael Jackson, the greatest pop singers of all times, Cassius Clay and Mike Tyson, the greatest heavyweight boxing champions, Cat Steves, Kareem Abdul-Jamil and Henry Larson, the professor and renowned scientist of Harvard University, to name only a few. Only a few months ago, 4 lakh South Africans have embraced Islam. Hence, there is no contradiction between Islam and science. Islam is the religion based on true laws of nature. The more Islam is vilified, the stronger it becomes. It is the fastest growing religion under the sun. Truly speaking, that Islam is ahead of science.